It's Tuesday, October 19th, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, the National Security Minister tours the Parliamentary Registration Department. Locals making a splash at Baha-Mar. TV13 is celebrating its 44th anniversary. And J. Barry Farrington remembered in a special way. So let's start the morning off right. And welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis. Let's now take you out to our streets for your Tuesday morning traffic.
Good morning, LaDawn. Great morning, Bahamas. I am Police Corporal 3644 Christopher Wims of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, here to give you an update on traffic in the past 24 hours. We're happy to report that we had no matters reported to police overnight. However, in the period of 24 hours, we would have had a total of 7 accidents. 6 accidents with minor damages, 1 with injury. At this time, we have 8 hospitalized victims as a result of accidents. Now, we're standing here at the intersection of Marathon Road and Robinson Road, where you can see traffic is flowing smoothly at this intersection. However, we still have our early morning joggers still over exercising. However, there's a right way to do everything. They're moving counterclockwise, going with the flow of traffic. We are advising persons to move counterclockwise while at this track here at Arambili Park. Remain highlighted with lights, clothing, so that people can see you, so that we can make sure you maintain safe. We are making periodic checks at this intersection, at this roundabout correction, at this track, just to ensure your safety. Now, I just want to spend a special good morning to Dominica and Dominic Betterby, who religiously watches the show, and we thank you for watching. Hi, T. Simone. Back at you, LaDawn.
Staying on the outside, weather partly cloudy to cloudy, breezy and hot with isolated showers and thunderstorms mainly ahead and along the frontal boundary, which lies stationary across the central Bahamas, while high pressure builds behind it. Daytime high temperature is 88 degrees with an overnight low of 70 degrees. Minister of National Security with responsibility for the Parliamentary Registration Department, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, weighing in on the future of elections here in the Bahamas and how they may be conducted. His comments coming after a visit to the Parliamentary Registration Department on Monday. The minister says the government will not move to advance a digital voting platform and discard the traditional voting process without public consultation.
When one looks at advances in technology, that would be something that comes after consultation. It may be driven by this department advancing it or being directed to look into it, but that would be a matter that we would proceed to only after extensive consultation. The right to vote is sacred, and persons already have great conspiracy theories about voting in the way that we do. And so for public confidence, before you change anything, you would seek the widest consultation possible.
During yesterday's tour, Acting Parliamentary Commissioner Lovato Duncanson updated the Minister of National Security on preparations for upcoming local government elections, which could come in the first quarter of 2022. In the meantime, Duncanson says the department is now conducting a postmortem of last month's general election.
Some of the recommendations made would include certainly public education, enhancing our ability to inform the public of what to expect come an election day. There are other recommendations as well, such as the sanitization of the various workstations, because that also impacted the timeline that persons took to vote.
Crime may be trending a bit downwards, but the fear of crime still very much a problem, a real concern for authorities who remain committed to overcoming this hurdle. Recently speaking to the issue was Assistant Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander. Here's what he suggests.
Number one, the presence out there with the police have to be consistent. Number two, response time to crime. And once the presence is out there, the response time, either we will catch the culprit in action, or we will catch them moving away. The third thing is follow-ups. That's follow-ups with members of the community, their complaints. You have to keep them up to date as to what is going on with respect to their complaints. Follow through straight to court and even after.
Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Frederick Mitchell, is extending condolences to the United States following the loss of its former Secretary of State, Colin Powell. Powell died on Monday due to complications from COVID-19. The 84-year-old was fully vaccinated. Powell has been touted by former U.S. President George W. Bush as a great public servant, widely respected at home and abroad. In a brief release, the Foreign Affairs Minister recalled working with the American general and diplomat during his first term, particularly on issues related to Haiti. Minister Mitchell also participating in a special meeting of the Council of Foreign Relations in Miami this past weekend at the Consulate General of Jamaica. Accompanying the minister was Foreign Service Officer Kenneth Wallace Whitfield. Discussions were held on matters relating to COVID-19, climate change, the United Nations, the African diaspora, the Commonwealth of Nations, and diplomatic relations within the Western Hemisphere. During the meeting, Minister Mitchell emphasized the need for CARICOM member states to take its place more firmly among the Council of Nations, particularly by putting forth reputable candidates to occupy positions at multiple levels in various international bodies. And when we come back, a breakthrough medical procedure performed at the Rand Memorial Hospital over there in Grand Bahama. So keep it locked.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
As an artist, I travel all over the world and I find inspiration all around me. From the people and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
The natural resources of the Bahamas play a critical role in supporting Bahamian livelihoods. For example, the fishing and tourism industry, which include fishermen, seafood exporters, hoteliers, dive operators, restaurants, and others. Collectively, they generate approximately $1.5 billion a year. Therefore, we must respect and preserve what we have. These resources belong to us.
This is my livelihood.
This is my livelihood.
This is my livelihood.
So let's all do our part to maintain our local economy and a good quality of life. Remember, if we take care of nature, nature will take care of us.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
What I love most about working for the Bahamas Tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence. We cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the Northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
Panamanian medical world is calling a landmark surgery a breakthrough procedure performed at the Rand Memorial Hospital in Grand Bahama for the first time ever. Here's Antoinette Smith.
When Dr. Valentine Grimes got the call about a patient injured in a serious traffic accident, it was a case he'd seen many times before.
I knew what he needed. The images were sent to me. I made an assessment of, I got a neurological assessment of his injury. I knew what he needed.
The only problem, that patient was in Grand Bahama, miles away from the Princess Margaret Hospital where the good doctor tenures, and such surgeries are normally performed.
Traditionally, that patient gets treated at the Rand, stabilized, and then airlifted to New Providence for definitive treatment. In this scenario, we because of COVID and the lack of hospital beds, both at the private and public hospital, there just was not the capacity to accept the patient here in Nassau.
But what happened next led to an extraordinary step in medicine for the Bahamas. Rather than wait for a bed to become available, miles apart, a team from the Rand, along with Dr. Grimes, collaborated. The result, this.
I then threw out the suggestion to say, well, with some help from you, we could make this happen at the Rand. A lot of discussions happened over the 24 hours that when we first discussed the patient, and we set things in motion right away.
On October 8th, the first open reduction thoracic spine fracture procedure was performed in a Bahamian hospital outside of New Providence, an 8-hour landmark surgery marking a, quote, new approach to healthcare, one which, according to Dr. Grimes, a lot of fellow surgeons look forward to.
And I think we have the willpower in terms of administration to be able to think outside the box and have a conversation to make things happen that just make good sense. And I think I'm excited that this could be the start of a new era in terms of care, not just within Nassau, but in the Rand and maybe some of the smaller islands in the Bahamas.
Today is World Pediatric Bone and Joint Day. It's a day set aside to raise awareness about the impact of the condition in children. Some of the most common causes include car accidents, playground accidents, and sports injuries. Other contributing factors are obesity, poor posture, and vitamin D deficiency. World Pediatric Bone and Joint Day was established in 2012. The above-average prediction of named storms during the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season certainly holding true. Luckily, the Bahamas has been spared so far. Still, the season does not officially end until November 30th, but officials say we must not let our guards down just yet. Here's Carla Palmer.
The 2021 hurricane season began 5 months ago on June 1st, and the Bahamas continues to be spared from related adverse weather conditions. Like all of us, Acting Director at the Department of Meteorology, Jeffrey Simmons, says that's good news, as no tropical weather system have impacted the Bahamas thus far. Weather experts had predicted 15 to 21 named tropical storms, 7 to 10 hurricanes, with 4 to 5 major hurricanes.
As predicted, it has been a very active season. So far, we have seen 20 named storms for this 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. However, none of them have seriously impacted any of our islands. That is, all of them has actually went around us. So we have been pretty fortunate this season. Not to have been impacted by any so far.
The news gets even better with each passing day, primarily as the Bahamas has passed the peak of the hurricane season, which is typically through the months of August to November.
That doesn't mean that we can't see other storms, other systems developing and actually possibly affecting us. However, one of the things we have going for us so far is that just on this weekend past, we actually had our first cold front for the winter 2021-22 winter season passed through us. And usually, history would show that, once we see the fronts start trailing through the Bahamas, that could spell the end of our hurricane season. However, that does not mean that something else can develop and possibly affect us for the last 5 to 6 weeks of the season.
Nevertheless, residents are being asked to remain prepared for any eventuality that a storm could possibly occur in late season.
Still the slight possibility that something can happen, and the Bahamas is known to occasionally see a late storm. One that comes to mind right away made in 2000 with Michelle. And so, we asking all residents to keep their guards up, which should have been up since June 1. And just be on the alert and don't relax. Just keep your guards up. There still is that slight possibility that something can happen. So we're still asking people to stay on the alert and on the watch for the season.
The Sir Charles Hayward Library in Grand Bahama has undergone a series of closures in the wake of Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic. The library fully reopened its doors late last year, and officials are hoping that as cases lower, the library can return to its former glory days. Here's Ramiko Knowles.
For several weeks now, the Sir Charles Hayward Library has been a place for lower primary school students to engage in virtual learning. Students arrive at 8:30 a.m. and remain until 3 p.m. Librarian Shenrika Forston says they recognize the need for the program and decided to assist.
Some children are still disadvantaged. Some of them don't have computers at home. They may not have internet at home. Their parents had to go back to work, and they are too young to leave home and to work on their own. So just to assist, we are the public library, so we try to assist in any way that we can in the community.
She says the library can accommodate up to 25 students, but they decided to keep the numbers low to give each child the attention needed. She adds that although the numbers are low, it is not an easy task.
It is a lot of work, and I commend the teachers, because just working with these students, I see what it takes, and I commend the parents also, but I want to encourage them to continue to work, because I realize that it's difficult, but you have to put the time in with them. I know we've been doing this from Dorian, and it's difficult.
Now the program officially comes to an end at the end of October, and organizers say they would like to continue it, but they simply cannot because of the lack of volunteers.
It's really kind of breaking my heart that at some point we have to stop, whether or not they're going back face to face, because the progress we have started with the ones that we have, I don't want them to fall back. I want them to keep going ahead. So I'm just hoping they're soon going back to face-to-face classes.
After hosting the students for several weeks, she believes the kids need to be back into the classroom.
And as we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On October 19th, 1956, officials inspected the first airstrip built in the Family Islands by a Bahamian government. The 3,000-foot-long strip in Georgetown, Exuma was built by Simonet's Shipyard. Also on October 19th, 1967, the new Progressive Liberal Party government enacted new immigration legislation that went into effect on this same day.
We must make sure that your mission is intact. Yes, Mom! Agent 1, what is a touch? Physical contact, Mom. Agent 2, what is a good touch? Touches that make you feel alright, Mom. Such as? A high five, a handshake, even a kiss, Mom. Good. Now, Agent 3, what is a bad touch? Touches that make you feel not so good, Mom. Like a slap, a kick, a pinch, and most important, if someone touches your private part. And what do we do when someone gives us a bad touch? You tell a trusted adult, Mom. For help, Mom. Tell them, don't do that, Mom. Agent, I see that you understand. Now it's your mission to spread this information. Just remember that good touches are okay, and bad touches are not okay. So, Agent, go spread the word. Yes, Mom.
Yo, from accounts.
Appreciate it.
Bro, what happened? I thought y'all vaccinated people supposed to be invincible.
No, bro. Fully vaccinated people still could catch COVID-19.
Wow. See? That's why. Don't make no sense taking it. Don't get it.
Okay, let's look at it like this. You could wear a seatbelt and still get in an accident, right?
All right.
You could exercise, drink smoothies, eat healthy, and still get sick.
What's the point?
Nothing is 100%. Plus, the majority of the breakthrough cases in those fully vaccinated were either asymptomatic or had mild symptoms.
Pull up the website and let me make my appointment.
Players Association embarked on a new venture by hosting their annual All-Star Weekend meetings in the Bahamas for the first time in 2019. Brandon Experiences Vice President for the NBA, Latoya Sterling, was recently back on our shores to meet with Sports Minister, the Honorable Mario Boleg, and she hopes the two sides can continue to work together.
We look at it as an opportunity to continue to grow the game. The game is such a global game, so when we see more and more talent coming from international, it's exciting for us, and it just shows the impact and the influence that the game has across the world. So we're just excited about seeing new talent, fresh talent, just coming from different countries. And again, we see them more and more. You know, when we look at the draft, and we see the flag of the Bahamas there, knowing that we've come here to do several of our events, it makes us feel great. But we love to see just the game growing.
In welcoming Sterling back to the Bahamas, Minister Boleg said the relationship the Bahamas has fostered with the NBA has played a significant dividends. As it stands right now, there are 3 Bahamians playing in the NBA, and even more are in the pipeline.
I do believe that we have 2 other athletes that will be entering the NBA in the next 2 years. One is Frederick King, who's at 6'11", playing now in the NBA Academy in Mexico. And so, along with Sammy Hunter, who's 6'9", playing at Ole Miss. And I believe if those 2 guys continue to do what they're doing, they will join the likes of Buddy Hields and DeAndre Ayton and Kai Jones. And that doesn't mean it stops there. Because our proximity is so close to the United States and the ability for us to go in and off to the schools and college and high schools and improve our skills, it makes it easier for us to get into the United States and in the NBA, qualify, or I should say raise our game to that skill level to get in the NBA.
In addition to working with the NBA, the Bahamas is also well connected with college basketball. Come next month, sports tourism will be in full swing as both Atlantis and Baha Mar will be hosting men's and women's Thanksgiving tournaments. The sports minister is encouraging locals to support, but gave this caution.
I know there's going to be rules and regulations in order for them to enter the facility to watch the games, and it may be that you may have to be vaccinated or show a negative COVID test. And so whatever those rules and regulations are, we have to govern ourselves, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we go out and support these events because it's just the springboard of more to come for Sports in Paradise.
And still to come, John Barry Farrington remembered in a unique way, so keep it locked.
To win a relay, each team member must do his or her part in the race. If one member drops the baton, it impacts all of us. Across all ages, genders, abilities, nationalities, cultures, or religion, we are all on the same team, and we all have a role to play in getting to the finish line to win the race against COVID-19. Don't drop the baton on safety. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose. Keep at least 3 feet distance from others. Do not touch your face. And wash or sanitize your hands often. Together, we will win. Don't wait. Get vaccinated today.
guests not the only ones having a splash at the luxury resort's water park. Having opened this past July, the $200 million facility has attracted a fair share of Bahamians and residents.
The water park is going very well. It's excellent amenity to our range of products that are offered, and Bahamians are participating in utilizing the facility.
Tributes continue to pour in for veteran hotelier and prominent tennis player, the late John Barry Farrington, but this time through a collection of newspaper clippings. Archivist Arnold Wilson has been collecting clippings of every single event in this country since 1966 and stopped by our ZNS grounds yesterday to talk about the first time he approached Farrington for sponsorship for his girls' soccer club and the impact the fallen icon has made in sports.
He just took his own personal checkbook out, write out a check payable to the sports center, and I meant get a supply. But that is the type of person, relation we had with each other. And through the years, well, even before we started.
This month, ZNS TV celebrates its 44th anniversary, and this week we'll take a closer look at some of the key players who assisted in its establishment. Here's a look at one of the shows that kicked off programming more than 4 decades ago.
It's time for Focus. To introduce tonight's program, here's your most congenial host, Charles Carter.
Good evening, I'm Charles Carter. It's a pleasure to welcome you to Focus, a program of information and discussion. Certainly television has been the most singular, most riveting subject in the minds and hearts of most people for the past few months. And it's only fitting, I think, that it should be the topic of our first inaugural program, Focus.
TV now joins the mass communication that we've had in the Bahamas for all these years, the newspapers, the movie houses and radio. Now it's TV, and the harbingers of doom who said it couldn't be done, it's been done.
And be sure to stay tuned into the ZNS network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas Tonight at 7. And that's a wrap for us this morning. For the entire team, I'm LaDawn Davis. Have a great morning, everyone.
Hey, y'all, where you been, y'all? I've been looking for you, looking for you. But hey, y'all, where you been, y'all? I've been looking for you. I've been chilling out by the bar last night. This gal, she was looking nice, she blew my mind. Well, all the same, I started to order drinks and I drink everything. She make me feel like a king.